Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, guys. You've got Bert and Lanny, your favorite dividend investors, guys, and welcome back to another podcast-ish episode here. Stock talk, stock news, market news here to kick this off on Monday. What is it, Bert? July 15th here.
That's right. Yeah, it's July 15th. It's Monday. But before we get into this, everybody subscribe to the channel. Give this video thumbs up. Let's freaking go. Let's holler at your boys, the Dividend Diplomats. I did find it interesting last week in the comments section, Landy. We asked how people are watching this or if they're getting any podcast notifications from YouTube Music. None. Nobody even knew YouTube Music even had a podcast thing. So most people are still acting as regular YouTube. Maybe
Come
we'll
on,
start.
Google. Come on, Google, figure this out.
Yeah, Google should, but we'll maybe starting next week or something, we'll put the link to like our YouTube music profile, like in the video description. I don't even know how that's going to work, but either way, everybody, we're here. We got some great news stories ready for you. Let's freaking go.
Yeah, guys, we got four big clips here for the week that just finished off. We'll call it, July 14th. We're filming this July 14th here in the late afternoon. So yeah, four things that could shake the markets here coming up this week, guys. We're going to talk about a certain political topic, guys. Unfortunately, there was a potential assassination attempt on former President Trump's life, on Saturday, which shook, I think, everything, shook the world here, guys. Nobody wants to see that. Bert doesn't want to see that. I don't want to see that. But let's try to relate it to, unfortunately, the stock market, right, Bert? Because what obviously being, you know, Donald representing the Republican Party, what do you think this is going to do to the stock market coming up here?
I honestly have no clue. And to emphasize your point, like nobody wants to see this happen to anybody, no matter what you believe, what you agree with, who, like what side it is. It's not worth anything like that. So just keep that in mind too, especially in comment section as you talk with friends. Like it's okay to have differences. It's okay to believe in different things. No need to bring the violence into it. But to answer your question, Lanny, no freaking clue what this is going to do with the market. Obviously, X has many different opinions on it. What some people are saying the market's going to rally, some people are going to not. I guess people are just trying to read the tea leaves of what this means for the election and which way the stock market's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of comments out there about the stock market rallying now through the end of the year. And again, not like the stock market needs any more of a rally this year, as
No.
the stock market is, setting record highs and is pretty much sitting up over 18% year to date. So let us know what you guys
Yeah.
think, obviously, in the comments. We're not going to talk too much about it, but we felt like we
No.
needed to talk about it because it's probably the biggest headliner that has happened
Yeah. Oh,
for
for
sure in
sure.
2024, and possibly the last, 40 plus years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it really is crazy to think that stuff like that can still happen. You kind of get lulled to sleep because like, we haven't had something like this happen in our lives. The last I think attempt happened before we were born with President Reagan. I think people can fact check me. However, it's nuts to just see it. Like it's wild. I have nothing more to say. Markets aside, like
Yeah, I felt like it was just a straight an episode. I keep joking with my wife. It's like an episode right out of Scandal.
yeah. Oh, for sure it is, and still crazy to believe, but. We'll see. We'll see what the markets react to it. We'll see how the political waves, the polls, then that would probably be the tea leaves of where you think the market's going to go.
But it's a great segue into, at least let's go to another topic here with the S&P 500 actually. Bert, we're going to jump to that actually. The S&P 500 continues to set record highs, guys. Can you believe that the S&P 500 crossed the 5,600 mark many times this last week and actually touched that fire ceiling of 5,655?
No, I can't believe it, to be honest with you. And I mean, if you would have asked me, is the market going to do that? Are they going to pop? And Nvidia only jumped up 1.48% this last week. I would have told you you were crazy because that seems to be what's driving the S&P 500 higher. At least from my perspective. I mean, we'll don't want to we'll save a little bit from there what happened. I think it was more of what caught me by surprise, Lanny, was the strength of like the underbelly of the S&P 500, all those companies that you don't hear too much about, the non-sexy dividend stocks that had really great weeks for a reason that we'll get into when we talk about our next story.
Yeah, yeah. Because if there's any more things that can keep pushing the market higher, it is the news that just came out, obviously mid to late end of the week with the consumer price index data, the CPI data, guys. CPI data came in, Bert. Again, June had a decline 0.1%, the first decline in 23 months as the country has been battling inflation at times was record highs. And then the CPI, when you look at it 12 months to 12 months, up 3%. So inflation at 3% right now, year over year. And then the prior months, trailing 12 months was 3.4%. So things are still increasing, from a year to date or year over year standpoint, but a decline of 0.1% without nitpicking all the data points could say that prices are decreasing technically.
Yeah, and that was the second week in a row we've had some information that showed things are calming down, things are slowing a little bit. So that's why you saw the S&P 500 just pop, and you saw a lot of those dividend stocks, as we mentioned, really get a benefit from it. Like look at VYM, look at SDHD. It's just like examples of the kind of week they had. Both of those popped, both of those hit record high. I think you said, Lanny, maybe not record high, but you said what, VYM's at 120 again? Um,
121, I think
wow,
now.
even okay, that proves the point even more. It's I remember you
Yeah,
telling me at the beginning of the week they
121.
were at 120. And now at
And
the end of the
actually,
week,
and mid Friday, they actually hit 122 in the middle of the day. It's like,
right,
what the
that
hell?
yeah, that shows you where like the strength of the market was over the last week. It was all of those great dividend stocks that have been just pushed down for so long, finally getting a little bit of momentum here with the Fed looking like they're probably going to have that September rate cut, like you said.
Yeah, yeah. I would say right now, there's like 80 to 90% chance that's kind of set in. I would say, unfortunately. Mortgage rates, to kind of tag along with that, has dropped as well. It followed really the 10-year treasury, so that's dropped. Mortgage rates have kind of dropped about half a point. Um, yeah, I mean, the market's reacted. Market's reacting. Um, More into value as well. It's if you guys saw bargains that we've been talking about, your Starbucks, your McDonald's, your Pepsi's, you're probably seeing prices are a lot higher on the stock than a week ago, unfortunately. So news moves faster now. So if you find an opportunity, put more chips in is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I think it's a very great observation, Lanny, because to your point, Pepsi's a lot higher. Starbucks crossed 75. I think Realty Income was one that I'd always been watching. And just watching it in the 52s and the 53s. And I'm like, maybe I'll come back to this. Maybe I'll do something more. Boom, it's over 55 again. American Tower jumped up 8% in my wife's Roth. So it's a great point. You see a stock, don't overthink it, act on it, and just buy it and grow your passive income.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so that's the S&P 500 and the CPI data kind of, back to back,
I mean, I guess,
highlights that.
yeah, Landy, I guess to answer the last bullet, the question you overall had though is where do we go from here? What are you thinking is going to be coming our way with earnings, with the market for the rest of this season, even?
Honestly, everything still continues to point that you'll see positive returns. Um, I don't see what's dragging this stuff down right now. I mean, what you need now is you really need probably the unemployment figure to balloon up for the market to react downwards. You need because companies are probably going to report revenues are up,
Yeah.
you know, and you need companies to start reporting down.
Yeah, right. That's what I was going to say. You start needing your Procter and Gamble's, your all these big consumer companies to say, yes, the consumer had enough. That our sales are going down. It's kind of like what you saw with Pepsi that caused Pepsi to drop when they said consumers were finally reaching that peak. You need everywhere to start saying that.
Exactly. So, and we're in the year of a presidential election. That usually is a positive year, anyways. We've already gotten that over 18% this year. So, you build in the potential for potentially lower taxes if, certain
Right.
president or nominee wins. Um, Again, there's just a lot of like ammo, not to no pun intended there, in this stock market that still I think can be deployed.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so if you find value, let us know, put that in the comments.
Yeah, just hearing the lower taxes, lower interest rates, I'm just like, are we going to reverse all the progress we just made on inflation just because of that? I don't like you raise the interest rates, you have taxes go up slightly to fight inflation. Is that all going to undo it? I don't know. Let's go to
Yeah.
start. That's a loaded, I guess that's a loaded question we can save for a different day.
And the story four, I'm gonna have to toss this one over to you because I'm pretty sure you go here.
Yes, we split the membership with my mom. We have a gold membership for Costco. So this has been teased for a really long time, actually. People have been saying Costco is going to increase its prices. They do it once. I don't know the numbers. Somebody can fact check me. Once every 4 or 5 years, Costco raises that membership price. They hold off as long as they can. Then when they need a bump, they kick that membership up. So that time had finally come. Starting September 1st, the new gold memberships for Costco are going to be 60 to 65. Executive memberships are 120 to 130. We split the gold with my mom, so now my prices are just a little bit higher. Nothing too crazy, but for
You
Costco, we usually hit there once a month, Lanny. So let's just say this, Lanny. You want to do the math here for us? We always joke about how much stuff like this can impact a company's revenue just like that when it's with Netflix where you see it, where Netflix increases prices and you're like, yeah, they just generated a ton of money. What are we seeing here for Costco with this?
again, I did a quick search. Looks like they have 58 to 59 million members. And let's just say, for argument's sake, without dividing who's in the executive membership, who's in the gold, they're all gold members. $5 times that. You're looking at least three, you're probably looking around 300 million plus dollars just getting added. No, just like that, just getting added to the top line. Um, I'm sure, and stay tuned for Thursday's video as well. And maybe we'll do a little bit more info on Costco. Because I don't think they're really, the trend in the margin was looking promising. So I think this is just a way to, the membership fees, man. I mean, that's where you can easily generate additional revenue.
Yeah, $5 on average is not going to be enough for people to cancel their Costco membership. So it is what it is.
Yeah, if you're canceling your membership, you're canceling it because it's 60 or 65, not because it's an extra five.
Yeah. So it's a genius move by Costco. It sucks a little bit for the consumer, but it's a move that's done by everybody. How many times has Netflix? How many times do these streamers increase their prices over the last years? What Paramount just announced it more like
I mean, my Netflix subscription, started out at 7.99, and I'm pretty sure it's what, 16, 17 bucks now.
yeah, yeah. Then they got you with the family sharing. So it's once you're in the subscriptions, they know how to slowly increase it and make it painful for you while also making their life a lot better and their financials better. Cover those
So what
points.
about you guys? Are you guys keeping your Costco membership? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah. So everyone, those are our four stories here. Talk about the unfortunate political stuff that happened over the weekend. You have your CPI information. S&P's hitting new high. Economic data is looking bad. Costco jacking up the prices. Stay tuned for Thursday to watch them a little bit more.
That's right, guys. And again, if you enjoy this, definitely hit that subscribe button. Like the heck out of this video. Let's keep saving, keep investing. Let's get to financial freedom, guys. That was Bert. Wait, hold on. I forgot to say something because you're either with us or you're against us, Jag. That was Bert and Lanny from the DD. Over and out.